my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. Welcome to both Sewcialites and the kickoff of Snapdragon Quilt Along. So these Fridays, while we're doing Snapdragon, there'll be the two things every Friday. Snapdragon's a repeat block. Sewcialites is a new block each week. We're doing that with the Fat Quarter Shop. And I want to show you what I have on the wall. So up on the wall right now are the settings. So this is how my setting colors will look. There is a repeat of this blue in here, but I don't know if I'll do blue or not, but that same blue star is inside here, and I have to decide whether I want them blue, like so it's more like radiating out with red points, or do I want two red blocks in there, or add another color. I'm not positive about another color, but I might audition something. So our ambassador Bobby helped me sew these settings, so thank you so much. It was very helpful to get some help with that. Okay, I'll do a front on picture of that with the other video camera here after we sort of look at the block. So it is from today, this week. All the designers are different every week, and next week is my week. And so this week is designer Camille Ross Kelly from Moda. And so her block is called Always Star. There you see it. And let me show you mine. It's a really darling block. So here it is. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's go to the other side of the table and take a look at fabric options for mine. Always a Star could go a lot of different ways. And in the beginning, as I always say, this is kind of the honeymoon part of a sampler where you can be a little bit more free, but I have already laid out the colors for those setting stars. So that changes it up just a little bit for me. So I am sort of tight and focused on those colors and what will go in the individual blocks. So here's the block again. And I have pulled a couple of sets of colors because I don't know if I'm going to go red in the middle there or do something else, like pull in maybe an aqua, who knows. So let's look at this option first. This brings in the yellow, which I've used in one of the other blocks so far, and is kind of nice, so that the square would be in the middle, the red square would be in the middle, and then around the outside for this sort of rim or like circle of stuff around the outside, that would be this aqua. So that's one option. Then I thought, well, what if I did one of the aquas in the middle? I can, fussy cut that rose or part of the rose, or even maybe these flowers here, or there's even a smaller rose, fussy cut something, and then use the frame around it, like square and a square, as the red, and then do all around the outside the green. And I'm not using, I've actually used green twice, so I don't know, I'm leaning away from the green because I'd like to have a little less green, but we'll see. And then my third option was putting the blue in the middle like this, then using a yellow as the square in the square, and then the circle on the outside as red. And using the red here would be if I have red stars, well, that's a lot of red. So I don't know, but this is actually my favorite, so I'm going to sew it anyways. So I'm going to put it up here. It goes all the way over here on the left, there. So now I've got, this will be a star point. This will be another star point here, so my block will go here, and that's how this is working. So isn't that cute? So cute with all those little blocks. Now let me do a straight on with the other video so we can look at what's going on. So here are the stars straight on. There's friendship stars, and of course you have a bottom red part. 4 friendship stars on the outside, 2 on the interior, and then these would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the other style of star. And you can see now, the stars are quite bold in these colors. So that, I want you to, just get a feel for that and think about that. I will pop a picture up on my website today of these stars like this so that you can see them and start thinking about how you want your setting to look. Do you want it to be fairly bold like this? Would you like those to be maybe a more muted color? So that's something to think about. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to start sewing the rose, but I could, because I am not going to vary the placement too much. The only thing is the one here that I might switch it out, but I could switch it out now, like I could switch it just with this one. and then I could sew that whole top one. But I have to decide if I want to put a block inside those red stars, because right now the pattern doesn't call for that. And I don't know, they seem kind of empty. They seem like maybe they should have a star, or a block, a 6-inch block. And so I could go back to the Sewcialites 1 blocks and do 4 of those. So I'm debating whether I want to take the time and do that, because we have a lot of different projects, and do I really want to do that? But I might. But if I decide I need to do 2 fairly soon, because then I can start sewing this together, because I like to do that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is Snapdragon. And here is the Snapdragon block made in my Sleepover fabric. So we're going to go back to the other side of the table again, because I'm going to walk through some terminology and layout of the block and your assignment and how we're going to walk through this sew along. So let's go. First, let me go over a few basics and a few terminology that you might hear and that I might use so that we don't get confused. So the pattern that the quilt is made from is from the fat quarter shop called Snapdragon. So I've used Snapdragon, I've used Sleepover, interchangeably for this sew along, which I should have made it one or the other, but it is, Sleepover is the name of the fabric line, Snapdragon is the name of the pattern. But if you go to the website and you order the kit, the fat quarter shop calls it a honeysuckle kit. And what they do is whenever they make a kit up from one of their patterns where it's not the fabric used on the cover, they give the kit a different name. So I'm not going to use the word honeysuckle, but if you bought the kit, or if you're looking now when you go and see the kit, you will see that name. Okay, so those are just kind of the basics. We'll go back to calling it Snapdragon, which I was doing quite a bit. I think I called that more. All right, so this pattern comes in 3 sizes, and I want to show you that first. So I always love when the patterns do that, because it makes it so versatile for us. We have options if you want to make things in other sizes. Everything is all in the one pattern. So there's the block on the cover, and the pattern comes in a lap, a queen, and a toddler, a lap, and a queen. And I'm going to show you here how many blocks are in each. And this is the back of the pattern. And so when you're doing a toddler, the toddler they have as 2 blocks by 3 blocks. So that's a smaller size, a smaller lap size. So they're calling that a toddler size, which is super cool because it's just 6 blocks. Then there's the size that we're doing in the kit, which is a lap size, and that's 3 by 4. And then the queen. And so here is the queen size, and the queen ends up 95 by 95, so it's going to have a drop because the top of your bed is 60 by 60, and so then the quilt will drop off some on both sides for a queen size quilt. But this is the one we're doing. We're going to be doing 2 by 4, and the approach we're going to have is 2 blocks a week. So we'll do these 2 blocks this week, and next week we will go on to do the next 2, whatever. So that'll give us a total of 7 weeks for this sew along. The one thing I want us to do as we're going along on this is to sew our rows together, because they are single blocks that we already have a color scheme going. Now, for those of you who are not using my fabric line and you have a different color scheme, you might want to wait till you've done some blocks before you start sewing if you're not sure of the layout. But we have a layout for my Sleepover fabric, so we can just sew, which means when we're done, all we'll have to do is put the borders, because I'm going to encourage you. Let me just fold this in half a minute. So what I would want you to do is to do as much as you can of the sashing each time. So if we're doing 2 blocks, then we can do the top sashing, that side sashing, and the bottom sashing this week. 2 blocks, the sashing, top, bottom, and in between, and the end. All of that can be done. Or you could approach it that you cut all your sashings and all your cornerstones. This is a Sleepover cornerstone. It's that teal. And so that's the color we're using. So you could approach it that way. This week you could do 2 blocks and then cut all your sashing and your cornerstones. It's kind of nice to have that part of it sort of done up front, that cutting of those things, because you get on a roll. If you're cutting sashing, you know you have to cut X amount of the same size and the squares. X amount of same size. And so it's easy to just go ahead and do that and then package it up, put it in your project box so that you have it and you're not, then when you make the block, you can just sew them on, and it's just a couple more minutes to put the sashings on things. Then as we go, we're actually building this whole blocks and building it as we go through the weeks. And by week 7, all you have to do is that border. I love that. So let me show you the block up close, the first 2 blocks, and what the block layout is. I have one in parts, a part center block. And I will show you that. Plus, Kendall, our ambassador, our Pat Sloan ambassador, Kendall Taylor, has a YouTube channel, and I know a lot of you have been watching him for the Block Wednesday, and he is going to do a walkthrough for the Snapdragon block as well. So you'll be able to check out a more detailed walkthrough over at his channel. All right, let's take a look. Now the blocks are just 2 colors. They are your background. In this case, is kind of this purpley plum for this first block, and then the white. So those are the only 2 colors, which means that it makes the block really cohesive. You only have those things. The image includes all of those colors. Now, if I was going to make this block and make it multiple colors, you could do the frame in a different color. You could do this part one color. You could do these in another color. I mean, you could mix it all up. But for this project, everything is, each block is just 2 fabrics, the background and one of the colors. And so here's the plum, and then here is the yummy paisley. So I want to show you here's the plum, and then I want to show you the paisley bigger. So this is the Sleepover fabric, and there we go. I've still got the tag from Benartex on there. Look at that. And I love this green, and there's actually an aqua, kind of an aquas and teals in there. Do you see that? So I love this paisley. So these are the 2 blocks we're going to do, and yeah, you'll be cutting squares if you want to, or at least cut your sashings in squares for setting these 2 blocks together side by side. So they will be like this. So cool. Okay, let me show you the construction with my part center mock-up. So with the part center, we have the middle, and then you have 4 of these, how many? 4? Yeah, 4 of these stripe blocks. So this is a stripe block, which are on the 4 corners, and they all go in there the same way. Right? Trying to get, yeah, they do. I was second guessing myself. So what happens when I'm looking at one of them sideways. Okay, so this is the image that you get. Let me just show you. Those corners are here. That's what these are. So they go to the inside from these straight blocks. And then you have hourglass blocks. And hourglass blocks, you'll find them, like on the Sewcialite. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not on the Sewcialite. On the Sewcialites. The big blue stars have these. And the white part is towards the center. Here we have the darker, or the color part, the non-white fabric towards the center. So there we go. And that's how the block comes together. Now, if you were to rotate it, and you have the white part of the hourglasses towards the middle, you would have a totally different block. What if you made the white here towards the middle? You've reversed it. Can you see it's the same image? It has that same internal image, but it's now white. So it's like a reverse image of this in a way, right? Because the corners here, instead of being the color fabric, they're the white background fabric. So fun. What if I did this and rotated these? There you go. They almost look like half spools, these. Not my favorite layout. Not my favorite, but it's fun to try it, to see what it looks like. So there we go. We'll put this back. And I'm going to leave this part center block for a little bit so that I'll probably show it to you again next time. Okay, there is the components and the assignment for your Sleepover block, and you will do the purple one, and the green paisley one. Well, I am ready to sew these guys together. Put that sashings on. I am ready. I think it'll be so nice to have that as we go along. Oh, so cool. Such cool blocks. They're love these big blocks. Great big blocks. Such impact. All right, I have a mail call, and then I want to do a short little show and tell. So first of all is from Vicki in Illinois, and Vicki wrote me a super nice letter. So she sent me a beautiful card, and then a Starbucks, yum yum, thanks Vicki, and a beautiful note. So thanks Vicki for that. It was very dear, very sweet. Mwah. Okay, who else? No, we have just two today. So this is from Jill in Virginia, another Virginian. And look at this pretty card. The peonies. I love peonies. Pink peonies in a blue and white vase. How sweet is that? And then she sent me a couple of cute selvages. There we've got some. And some animal print. Ah, love it. And then the cool thing is, her library had some magazines that they were, I guess, selling off, and so she picked some up that have some of my things in them, some of my quilts. How cool is that? So, you know, I kept the magazines for a long time, but I was in so many magazines that I couldn't keep them anymore. I mean, just couldn't, and so I pulled some things out and whatever. So, you know, it's really fun to see these again. Okay, in this issue, there is a Celtic quilt that I did. And what it says is, may your home always be too small to hold all your friends. And that's definitely my home. It's much too small for all of you to come here inside, but you can every day in my video. So that was really sweet. Thank you for finding all those and sending them to me. Okay, I'm going to try to show you something Christmassy of mine as long as I can this month and for many of the days of the videos. I don't know if I'll get one every day, but today we're going to look at the little gingerbread kids. These are projects that I've done in the past. I'm going to pull things out of the books and show them to you. Anything that's in the December holiday spirit. So these were done with my Morrison Park fabric. It's a free download pattern. Cute little kids. And then this was done for the button club with the Fat Quarter Shop. So you can see I used some of the buttons. Look at that. Look at the little hair bow. And see his little bow tie has a peppermint button on it. So cute. So the download for this is at my website today. The link is in the description box here. And if you are on my newsletter, you'll be getting an email. Okay, so you have two things to do. Your sweet little Sewcialites block. There we go. This baby. And get your Snapdragon going. So you can buy just the pattern, and the link is also at my website today and in the description box here. So if you don't want to get the kit with my fabric, you can do just your own fabric and use it up. So that's always an option. But I know there's a few kits left. There's not tons, but there are some left. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.